Do you feel the pulse?
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So I just picked up my order from Jeremy Shank a couple days ago, and I had about 9 corals plus an anemone, and everything is doing really poorly. And that's because I tested my nitrates and they are well above 100, and things are just not doing well. So I went to the store and I picked up some Everclear, which is 150 proof grain alcohol, which is going to have a very high ethanol content. And I am going to use this because my my no pox won't be here till Saturday, and some of my stuff is really going down the drain fast, and I'm not gonna wait till Saturday. So I believe I'm supposed to dose somewhere in the vicinity of about a quarter of a milliliter for this. I might start around half a milliliter and see how everything goes. But I'm gonna go ahead and measure this out with a syringe, then apply it to the tank. And I'm gonna cross my fingers. I'm also making some salt water right here. I've got my temporary mixing station set up at the moment, and that's going to allow me to do an emergency water change if this doesn't go well. So I'm crossing my fingers. I'm gonna go ahead and add some, and we'll see what happens. So I just went ahead and added about a half a milliliter of the Everclear to the sump, and I did that right in the return pump section, so it should get dissipated throughout the whole system. And I really don't think it's going to help with my core right at the moment. I think I am gonna go ahead and just do a massive water change. And now that I'm really looking at stuff, I don't think it'll happen fast enough. So I'm gonna do a massive water change just to hit those nitrates really hard, and then I'm going to go ahead and keep dosing the Everclear every day. But I just want to try to stop the deterioration of the coral, and hopefully the water change is kind of an immediate thing that should help lower the nitrates. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix up some salt water and do a water change, and I'll be back with you guys. So right now I'm draining the tank. Plan is to do about a 50% water change every other day, with dosing a little bit of 150 proof Everclear for the next, until I figure out exactly my dosing regimen. But I need to reduce these nitrates, and I guess I got to do a lot of work, and that's just the way it's gonna be. So as you can see here, I'm doing about a 25-gallon water change, which is right around 50% of my tank. It's a 40-gallon breeder with a 20-gallon sump. But with this, dispersion from the rock and all the other equipment in here, I'm assuming it's right around 50 gallons. So you can see here, that's my last bucket I just drained. There's the drum, the trash can filled up with salt water. I'm gonna go ahead and verify with my refractometer, verify my salinity, and then I'm gonna go ahead and start adding water back into this tank. So, and then I'm going to retest my nitrates, and we'll see, does water change really affect your nitrates? We'll find out in a second. So the tank is filling back up right now. I'm really hoping that I was able to halt the further degradation of my coral. So like I said, I'm gonna test after the tank is full, I'm going to let it settle out for a couple of hours. I gotta leave for work in a little bit, but I'm going to wait about an hour or so, and before I go to work. Actually, I'm probably gonna test it right after the tank's full, and then maybe before I go to work, when I get back from work tonight, I am going to test it again so I can see what the effect is, whether it's just reading less right now versus later when everything settles out, so I can see if it's more than just my water. I mean, I know nitrates are high due to excess nutrients in the water and stuff like that, so I know there's nutrients on my rocks and stuff, for my fish defecating and feeding and stuff like that. But I just want to see what the difference is between nitrates right after you fill up the tank versus nitrates a couple hours later. I'm just curious. So tank's filling up slowly. You can see my clownfish there, being a little aggressive. My orange skunks are being aggressive to my mist bar, and my mist bar has been a little submissive. But everything else is doing well. For some reason, my gorgonian right here is starting to adhere to the glass. It looks like it's trying to grow onto the glass, and that's weird. I have not seen that done before. It's doing that on its own, by the way. I did not put it there like that. So I'm curious to see how that ends up working out. If you see those chunks of green stuff in the sand bed, that's from me just scraping. All that stuff is crap from off the front glass that I just scraped off with a razor blade. But I like using the razor blade because I get a really good clean glass. I don't have to deal with scrubbing and all that other stuff. I just use a razor blade and go through it, and tank comes out looking beautiful. So this is my current situation, filling up the sump, and then I use the return pump to pump water back up to the main tank. But so far the fish are very happy. The crappy part is I kind of dosed I dosed my alcohol, my vodka. Well, it's not vodka, it's more of a corn liquor. I dosed that before I did my water change, so I don't really know where it sits with that as of right now. But I can tell you what, from just this little bit of water change, look at my bird of paradise. Look how freaking happy that is. All its polyps are extended, and I don't think I've seen it look that good in quite a while. And I just literally drained this tank and added a little bit of fresh mixed salt water to this. All my Euphilia are still out and about. The Panape bird's nest is almost a goner, but maybe, just maybe, I can save it. And some of the other stuff on there really looking pretty bad, but I have some faith that I can resolve this. Hopefully this water change reduces my nitrates to a manageable level, and I'm going to check my nitrates probably every other day, and as soon as I see it's starting to rise kind of steadily, I'm gonna do another massive water change. But I'm still going to be doing my alcohol dosing, so I'm curious to find out what the difference is going to be, whether I really can manage this, or do I have a lot bigger problems on my hands. So let's see what happens, guys. Well, I just got done with the water change finally, so everything's looking great. I'm gonna go ahead and do the nitrate test kit, and I'm gonna let you guys know the results right now. I don't know how well you guys can see this, but essentially I was able to cut my nitrates in half. My tank was reading around 100 parts per million for nitrates on my sulfate test kit, and I just did about a 50% water change, and I was able to get it down to about 50 parts per million. So definitely, guys, don't be lazy. It's gonna save you guys lots of money if you just do your water changes. Now I am gonna be doing something different. I'm trying to dose ethanol, but we'll see how that works out. So thank you guys for watching the video. Again, thanks to all the new subscribers. You guys have a good one.